Leo. The number of times I've tried ambushing Aparna at restaurants is not even funny, but now I found a great chance. Please, Aparna, please take a seat. There's this other person who I got a chance to work with many moons back. She was working with Leo Burnett at that point of time, and we were doing a poster shoot, and her standard line to me, stand straight. What are you doing? Stop being an actor. Just stand straight. And we met us shoot our poster. And over the years, she's become this prolific filmmaker. She started with Neel Bhatte Sanate, has made one of my personal favorite films. Have you all heard of this film called Bareli Ki Barfi? Give it up for Ashwini Iyer Tiwari joining us. Come on up, Ashwini Iyer Tiwari. Gosh, I took you way long back, didn't I? Very long back. We have another powerhouse who's coming straight on the heels of, making this successful show called Rocket Boys and also this successful film called Chatterjee. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody who likes Parsis, and because of that, I like her. Monisha Advani, can we have you on stage, please? Heavy on the heels of her very much talked about important film. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon Ashima Chibber, the director of Chatterjee versus State, Norway State. देखो, जो next आ रहा है ना, उसके लिए मैंने कुछ खास लिखा है, just so that I can, be in her good books. Very popular person, you all will know. Popularly known as Athiloka Sundari, this actress is one of the brightest and most promising stars of the Indian cinema. She has navigated her journey at her own terms across all languages of India, working with the biggest stars across. We are pleased to welcome none other than Ms. Rakul Preet Singh. And now I'm going to call upon the man who every man in this whole conference today will be envious of, because he'll be seated amongst these fantastic ladies and having a conversation with them. I mean, what would men not give to be having that seat? But Nakul, we are very proud that you are having that seat. Ladies and gentlemen, Nakul Mehta, one of the best faces we have on celluloid Indian TV and one of the most well-spoken, articulate, sensitive men. ये इसने मुझे बोला था ये बोलना. अभी आप लोग देखना ये सेशन के बाद ये खरा उतरता है कि नहीं. Nakul, how envious am I of you right now? Personally, at least. I don't know about the other men, but congratulations. Have a great session. Ladies and gentlemen, she leads.
A very good afternoon. I think post-lunch sessions are usually the hardest for everybody. We're struggling to sleep and sometimes just, having spent a busy morning. But please bring yourself some coffee. It's going to be an interesting session. I will try to speak minimum and feel free to interject me, stop me, ignore me. I am here. I think Ficky Frames has been very kind. We are, in this country, we are very used to having panels, right? And it wouldn't be surprising if you would have a panel of men speaking about women in filmmaking. But we went the other way and we said we'll get all these trailblazers and champions of storytelling and filmmaking, to really talk to us about it. And just so that no man cries foul, they threw me for representation, right? So, I really don't know how I qualify to do this. I'm someone who owes my career and any kind of sort of success or stardom to television, which again has been built because of amazing collaborations and partnerships with some splendid women who have helmed and produced and written and directed all the work I've done on television, right? And very rarely do we get rooms like this, such beautiful rooms, where we can maybe take another half a minute and talk about them and champion them. So I'm just going to quickly name these people who've been like the reason I've had some kind of career. So starting from my first producer, Kavita Barjatia, to Gule Nagma Khan, to Ekta Kapoor, to my writers, Mukta Dhond, Nikita Dhond, Deepa, Sarita Tanwar, Yukti Anand, Harneet Singh, Fatima, Rohini ma'am, the bunch of amazing trailblazers. And from those trailblazers to these. Right? I'm going to start off by telling you about, I'm not telling you, all of you know it, film students here, film appreciators. From the days of Raja Harishchandra, right, Indian cinema's first film where the female characters were portrayed by all men, to today having a number of incredibly powerful women who now lead our stories. Indian cinema has come a long, long way, right? We've always been OTT, over the top, but mercifully a lot more women influencing creativity right at the very top exists today. And it's not to say that we did not have women early in the business. The first powerful superstar boss and studio boss and superstar in Indian cinema was in fact a woman, Devika Rani. And she was not only the biggest star of her times, but she gave the industry some of the biggest legends, Madhubala, Dilip Kumar, Ashok Kumar, and of course, Madan Kumar, Ben. You know what I mean. I didn't say it, it was a show Aparna made. So, even outside the Bombay talkies, there was someone called Fatima Begum, who was India's first director. And actually forget first woman director. She was the first genre director. She made a fantasy epic film called Bulbul-e-Paristan way back in 1926. And who can forget the fearless Nadia, the cult action films she gave us. So today I'm just very honored to sit with, a few fearless Nadias of our times, the Bulbul-e-OTT stans of our times, the Devika Ranis of the Indian film, television and entertainment industries. We have with us the wonderful Aparna, Ashwini, Monisha, Rakul and Ashima. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. I'm going to start first with congratulating the queen of OTT, Aparna. Thank you for a wonderful show like Jubilee and the many other silver jubilees you've given us, in the last few years. It has been a fascinating journey, for you, from being a creator yourself, a storyteller, to now a studio head who is empowering other storytellers and other stories. Did being a woman was it ever a disadvantage for you, frankly, in a place where it is not unknown to have women in leading positions?
First of all, thank you so much. What an incredible panel, and what a good fortune to be sitting among such phenomenal women. And thank you, you're very, very kind, Nakul. How can being a woman be disadvantageous? I mean, I'm a woman and this is my biggest advantage. It can never be a disadvantage. It may be perceived as a disadvantage by many, but certainly hasn't ever been an obstacle or an impediment in my journey. If at all, it has only been a springboard for all the successes. Has it been easy? Certainly not. When I started out almost 20 years ago, came from Delhi to work in films. It was very tough. I wanted to direct, I wanted to tell stories, and at that time, just to get a break as an assistant director was tough. I remember that often enough, one was excluded from any outdoor skits because how would you share a room with anybody? There are no toilets, and because you wouldn't go on outdoors, you would eventually not get a credit on the film. Some directors even asked us that, why do you want to get paid? It's a good fortune that you're getting to work on a film. It was tough. And I remember at that time, I'd resolved that if ever I'm in a position of influence, I will not let any other woman go through this. I will keep the doors open. If there are no seats at the table, I will drag that chair for myself and another woman. And one has just been trying to do that in the last couple of years that I've been at Amazon and all the other jobs that I've done. I've tried to ensure that there is a fair and balanced representation in the stories, and sometimes it needs to be intentional. It just doesn't happen. It needs to be intentional, and therefore we've made it a mandate to have a woman in every writer's room. We are trying to ensure that there are at least 30% women in HOD positions in all of the shows and films that we do. Trying to ensure that everybody has a voice. that that the characters that are written are, women characters that are written have agency, that there is a strong female gaze. Even the stories that are not led by women, women are not just wallflowers, that they have a voice. So, yeah, one has just been trying to do that.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. At the CinemaCon recently, Sony chief Tom Rothman recently said streamers do not make stars, only global hits do. Ashwini, you as someone who has dabbled both in theatrical and the streaming business, firstly, do you agree with this? And I wanted to ask you if Bareilly Ki Barfi, which released in 2016? 18? 18. 2016 you started making it, was it?
No, 2017.
17, okay, 2018. If that was an OTT release, would it get you as much recognition as the theatrical did? And since we are already talking, I wanted to understand, post the entire OTT boom, post the pandemic, do you think that boom is responsible for the theatrical releases not doing as well? Except, of course, a few indie films we've recently seen, like a Pathaan. Those are exceptions. But you being a writer, director, and now a producer, I'd like to sort of understand this from your perspective.
That's a very difficult question. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for calling us here. So my journey, it's like 22 years now, working from advertising to doing ad films to now making films and now producing films. And I do feel that my journey as a storyteller has always been from the point of view that when I was in advertising, I started off as an art director.